Thank you so much for attending my presentation about Pokemon I hate in VGC, and look. On this channel recently, I've tried to avoid engaging in what is known as list slop, but the more Pokemon champions I play, the more frustrated I get with this format. I love this game, but I'll be damned if there aren't some real dickheads around, which this video aims to tackle. I just want to exercise my demons for 5 minutes, so cut me some slack. First, an obvious pick, Archaludon. I really don't know how people consistently beat this asshole without running Charizard. It just does so much. This thing is a stat brick with pseudo-legendary numbers and no real weakness. It's bulky, strong, and low-key not even that slow. This is made even better by Stamina, an ability that boosts its defense whenever it's hit by any damaging move. Killing Archaludon on the physical side, or really just in general through this and its leftovers, can feel like a Herculean task and requires pretty solid positioning. Plus, it's constantly boosting its special attack with the absurdly powerful Electro Shot, so you can't let it sit out on the field. But I think the reason why Archaludon feels so bad to play against is really because of its teammates. The problems that it does have are patched up well. Sableye and Grimmsnarl are great screen setters that reduce damage and let it get more defense boosts. Sinistcha heals it on switch-in and redirects damaging moves. Pelipper sets rain, nukes fighting types, and can set speed control. Mega Swampert handles many threatening attackers who could hit Archaludon. Archaludon in this format is, to me, the epitome of Protect the King, where one asshole becomes unkillable and destroys your team, and that's not fun to play against. Every time I queue against the bridge, I feel like I'm disarming a bomb, not playing Pokemon. There isn't really one mon I'm thinking of for my next pick, instead being a category. Prankster is an extremely strong ability, giving all of your status moves +1 priority. This opens up a ton of options, but for the best ones like Grimmsnarl, Whimsicott, and Sableye, you generally know what's going on. But when you do see some off-the-wall Prankster Pokemon, it is hell to deal with, and the reason for this is pretty simple. The Pokemon I mentioned a second ago are the best screen setters, speed control users, and damage mitigation, so there isn't a great reason to use others. Emphasis on great, though. If you really try, you can find some fringe use cases for other prankster mons, which some people do. If you play enough VGC, you'll see a Liepard or a Meowscarada or a Mega Banette and it will do something horrible to you, but on the closed team sheets ladder, you'll have no idea what it is. You see a Klefki on the opposing team and you have 1.5 minutes to figure out what completely deranged strategy they're running and how you're going to beat it. And let's be real here, you could be wrong. You could go, I'll bring my Garchomp and Earthquake the Klefki, and then they pull a Magnet Rise out of their ass and you can't hit it anymore. And then the next time you're terrified of using Garchomp, so you leave it behind only to get Perish trapped by Fairy Lock and Mega Gengar. You play this horrible fucked up guessing game whenever you see these Pokemon because there isn't a normal way to run them. It's always weird, it will always be your ass, and it will always be horrible to play against. My dislike for Excadrill is much more straightforward. I know what it's going to do and I hate it for that reason. Excadrill is exclusively run on sand teams for its high attack stat and Sand Rush ability, which doubles its speed in the sand. This is really hard to deal with, especially on an archetype that's normally not that fast. This burst of immediate speed, coupled with Earthquake and Ironhead's amazing coverage alongside rock moves, is terrifying. It just kills you, and since it always has a focus sash too, you're not killing it back without taking some serious punishment. But why do I hate Excadrill specifically so much? Surely Mega Swampert would be more frustrating. Well, that's the thing. This damn mole feels like Mega Swampert, but without having to invest a Mega. A fast, strong, weather-abusing ground type that spams Earthquake alongside a flying type, in its case Corviknight. Sounds pretty similar to me, but one of them gets to use another Mega. Obviously it's not the same, but it still feels terrible, and part of this is self-inflicted in a sense. My favorite team this format is Mega Dragalge Balance, and if there's one Pokemon that beats Mega Dragalge to smithereens, it's Excadrill. So this pick is biased, but I swear that Pokemon is very, very powerful and does not get enough attention. Finally, I want to talk about Meowscarada, by far the weirdest Pokemon I chose. This thing is fairly simple, being a fast, frail attacker, but the reason why I dislike it is because of how disgusting and unique its coverage is. I don't know how common knowledge this is, but Meowscarada gets basically every move in the game. Grass Dark is a decent stab combo all on its own, but this cat has coverage, enough to super effectively hit basically whatever you want it to. It gets Low Kick, it gets Play Rough, it gets Shadow Claw, it gets Thunder Punch, it gets Triple Axle, it gets U-Turn, and it gets Aerial Ace. And even though they aren't stabbed normally, its decently strong attack stat plus Protean lets it hit for a ton of damage. My problem with this is similar to the Prankster one, especially in the closed team sheets best of one ladder where I primarily play my games. This thing always has the perfect coverage to hit my mons. I throw out King Gambit and they have Brick Break, Garchomp is shredded by Triple Axle. The normally solid Pelipper is ripped apart by Thunder Punch. In theory, it really shouldn't hit that much, but as it always goes, the Pokemon with a billion coverage moves has the coverage to hit your team specifically. It is a stress fest, I hate it, and I play against it way too often. In conclusion, while I love VGC, there are some Pokemon that have me seething when I see them on the ladder. If you use these, that's fine though. What some dummy on YouTube thinks about the Pokemon you like running doesn't matter. It's still annoying though. Thank you so much for watching.